Jason Lee Podcast.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Podcast. I am still wearing yesterday's clothes, or maybe the day before yesterday's clothes. I think it was the day before yesterday I wore this, but...
Oh, God.
What do you mean, oh, God?
No one would have known if you didn't tell us.
Right. Truth, trust, and
transparency. You did not document it. So
truth, trust, and transparency. Unlike people we know. I don't care. I am a human being. Yes, this is Chrisean Dior, but I didn't even wash it.
The shoes are cute, too. The shoes aren't even on camera.
I didn't even wash it, okay? But it's clean because I don't mess around and I'm not dirty like that. I want to shout out August Alsina because August Alsina, you know, I ran into him at a club at a gay party, you know?
We were there.
Oh, were you there?
We were there.
Well, he was so liquored, he don't remember. When we went to Posh in LA, his boyfriend, Zeus, or his business partner,
allegedly,
Zeus, had a hosting. And I've always thought August and Zeus are so cute individually and together. I was like, yo, I'm going to go pull up on Zeus, and hopefully I get to get a 2-for-1. I get to see August and I get to see him. I didn't think August would come to the gay club, but August Alsina was at the party supporting his boo. And I went over to speak to Zeus before August got there because, you know, I wanted to say hi, and I did, and he said hi, and then August came, and then I asked the people to go talk to August to tell him I wanted to say hi, and me and August had texted before, and August told him basically, I'm good. I was like, what? Hold on a minute. What you mean you good? I've been waiting to meet you. Anyway, we didn't meet.
You've never met him?
We've never met, but we've talked, you know, we've texted. But anyway.
Got you.
August got my number that night, and he called me, and we had a long conversation. It was such a nice conversation. I really like August. And then he said he wanted to meet up with me to give me a package. And I thought, you trying to meet up and jump me because I said hi to your man before you got there. I ain't stupid, August. I've been jumped before. Nope. But anyway, nice exchange, lots of conversation, learned a lot about him. Such a nice person. Have a lot of respect for you, August, from our conversations. We've had many conversations, and he mailed me the most amazing box of items. I think I have a picture. I'll put it right here. I didn't even know he had face care, skin care. Did you know he had all that?
Yeah.
He has a whole thing. You know, and the cologne, people were saying when I got the cologne, oh, it smells really good, really good. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I don't want people to give me things that when I spray it smells like crap, because then I have to tell everybody. But it smelled so good, and I usually wear my Fenty. So for the award show, the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, I wore August all over my body because he wasn't able to be there. And it was amazing, and everybody loved it. And then the next day, well, anyway. So I'll give you guys all my recap. I just want to say thank you to August for sending me that package. I've given some of the products out to friends because it's a gift that keeps on giving. Now, we need to get August on the show.
ASAP.
August, you and Zeus should come to the Jason Lee show. It's a safe space. We will roll out the red or zebra carpet for you. Anything you want, we'll make sure to have it. But yeah, I mean, we're actively talking and building a relationship of trust, and so hopefully we're able to get him on the show.
I hope and pray.
I recently was at a Stockton City Council meeting. Oh my God, it's just going down in Stockton, you know, over DEI. You know, those of you out there that don't pay attention to politics, you got to really pay attention to when things are moving around in your cities, states, and in the country, because DEI has become a political dog whistle that we just hear on CNN.com or we'll watch on TV, and we don't really pay attention. But when we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, it's something that I live, breathe, eat. I mean, my company is diverse. We have straight. We don't have that many straights. We have straights, we have gays, we have Puerto Rican, black, white. We have everything at Hollywood Unlocked, and it's a reflection of the world that we live in. And so now that I'm in a policy setting position as the vice mayor of Stockton, you know, I'm going to make sure, at least in my city, that we're addressing some of the framework of how our city is built. But baby, it went all the way down at the city council where I just started to raise a question, and then it just went left. Take a look.
Point of order, if I can. This was an item that I put on the agenda, and now we're going into a full presentation.
I am in charge.
Point of order. I understand. Listen.
Tense moments during Stockton City Council meeting Tuesday night.
Okay.
Immediate recess. I'm calling for an immediate. The heated exchange between the mayor and vice mayor happened after city staff presented an update on their diversity, equity, and inclusion program. Earlier today, Vice Mayor Jason Lee called for an internal investigation into the use of of DEI funds. Lee claims money that should have gone to the program was misused. During the meeting, Lee questioned the DEI officer, Priya Nixon, about the funding.
Did you know about the spending of the $40,000 for food?
I was not aware of that.
Okay. And were you aware that staff took funding from the DEI budget to pay for contractor's contract?
I was told that that money was going to be allocated towards a different contract.
Okay. And the last question I have is, was that contract in any way to help us diversify the city of Stockton?
I don't know the answer to that.
However, Stockton's Mayor Chrisean Fugazi says there are no funds earmarked for DEI specifically.
As you go through the resolution, though, we were told that there was no funding. And that's why we said we were going to actively seek out funding for this. Support's looking for identifying, capitalizing, funding, efforts to seek and allocate funding, even for small businesses is in here.
Now, the resolution that Mayor Fugazi is referring to was passed in 2022. It's unclear how much funding is designated to the city's DEI office right now. About a dozen residents also raised concern about the city's DEI practices. No decision was made tonight by the council, but of course we'll continue to follow this story. Live in...
Listen, y'all don't need to attack the mayor online, calling her Karen Fugazi. I like Mayor Fugazi. We just had a disagreement over process, and we got it on track, and we got through the night. And I even mentioned, like, I pray for her because it's not personal for me. I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm not going to go up and say Nam Ya Renge Kyo and start asking for all the spirits from the Mississippi and the rivers to come and take her with the blood of Jesus. Like, I want everybody to understand that one thing about Jason Lee, you're going to have to own many seatbelts in your Cougars and your Mustangs if you keep trying me, because I am not one to be bullied.
I just want everyone on council to have a gavel, because I feel like if there was a gavel in your hands, it would be a wrap.
I was actually going to wear a shirt that said I was fired on it because she fired us from a committee, and I was going to, it would have been a good moment had she hit that gavel. I just took off my sweater and I had to unfire it.
Yes.
But what they don't realize is I'm for all the antics, and Stockton, I'm telling you, we're just getting started because I'm really trying to work with people. But when I created a face mask ordinance to like ban ski masks because there's no snow there, but people are getting shot with people and robbed with people in ski masks. I was going to come into council and put a ski mask on and say, can you identify me?
Yeah.
No. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get people to see your content.
Absolutely.
All right, listen, a lot has gone on around this camp, and I know you guys have been waiting for us to come back. I know. Well, we're here. Let's get to it. It's the Tea with Jason Lane. The Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards.
Yes!
I can breathe. This is the thing. What you have to understand is this is like watching your child grow up. If this is the closest thing to watching your child grow up, because when I first started the idea of having a baby, I was laying on your couch and we talked about, dreaming this up. And I remember I would go to Rob. Rob was making the decks. Rob, make this deck. Rob would type up the decks, and then, and he would make it look this way. And we always had the idea of doing things. And so it's so crazy how life is just full circle, because that was years. When I say years ago, that was so many years ago. And then for us to have the idea come to life on the first annual, when we did it at the club, we did it in 3 days. We had not that many celebrities there because we didn't plan it in time. We had a cheap award that we bought off a line somewhere. And we did it at a nightclub, but although it was beautiful, here's some video footage I'll play while I'm talking over it for those of you watching on YouTube. But, it was a beautiful, beautiful venue that we turned into something out of nothing. But it really was, I think, the beginning of us knowing that we could do this for real. And then Rob and I had the audacity to dream. And we said, why don't we take it into the grand ballroom at the Beverly Hilton where Clive Davis and the Golden Globes. I mean, if you think about it, it's really crazy to think that we would take it. We bankrolled the second year. We bankrolled it. We did that one, I think, in like a week or 10 days. We got Mariah Carey and everybody to pop out. The show was so popping that we didn't even tell nobody who was there. People just came waiting to see who it was. So everything was a surprise. We had Lizzo, Jennifer Lewis, and all that. And then we bankrolled that for, I think, like $460,000 or something out of my own budget, out of my own pocket. No sponsors, no deal, no nothing. We just did it, and we fell in love with it. That Rob and I were committed to seeing this show continue. Then we did it the next year, and it got better. And then the next year, But baby, this year, y'all don't understand that this almost broke me. And I know Rob is laughing because he did all the work. But he did all the work, but I did all the stressing. And Rob, you know, this is why I love being surrounded by the gays, right? Rob will walk around just whistling and having a good old time when, in my mind, the world is falling apart with the award show. So I first have to give Rob his round of applause and his flowers.
Yes.
I have to give you your flowers because I'm telling you
Period,
right now,
Rob.
you know when people say this would not be possible without, let's be extraordinarily clear. This would not be possible without Rob because he literally did it all.
Well, thank you.
So
And he pivoted a million times. I feel like people think that the plan is just the plan and set, but you guys had a bunch of little fires you were putting out the whole time till the last
we will
minute.
get to the fires. We're going to go beyond the veil and unlock the award show because it was a hot-ass mess. But I'll pass it to Rob first. So, like, you know, I learned a lot in this process. We talk a lot about DEI and their diversity, equity, and inclusion and how we don't support each other sometimes. This year was very interesting with how many people we wanted to honor, who were in, out, who didn't commit, who weren't committing. Some that just, they talked the talk in public, but then didn't show up. But in looking back at all of how the board was moving with honorees and stuff, it literally was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. That it's crazy how the show that we had is the show that it should have been. But yeah, unfortunately, like we did run into a lot of hiccups where people had life events that happened that they couldn't have foreseen, so they had to back out. We had people who double booked their schedule, their teams double booked their schedule, and they had to back out at the last minute. So it just kept evolving and changing. But again, I think everything is falling into place for these shows to be the show they are for that moment. And it's always perfect. Listen,
It was Jane Fonda FaceTiming me at 3 a.m. with Tiffany saying that she was excited to be honored. We started to prepare for Jane Fonda. And then last minute, she realized she was booking it herself and didn't look at the schedule, so Jane couldn't do it. And she sent the most beautiful text message about how upset she was that she couldn't participate. You know, there were other people I'm not going to list. But what I will say is, Rihanna was somebody that we were going to honor this year, and she really wanted to be there. And unfortunately, her dad died, which is just tragic. And as a friend, I called her team and was like, we're not even going to go there. And they got that message to her. And I sent her flowers before her father passed. And, you know, I don't like to impede on people's privacy, especially her. You know, I try to stay respectful until she checks me like, slut, why you ain't called me? But she did send me the most beautiful flowers, Ree. I'm going to put them up here. These are the flowers, and this is the card from Rocky and Ree. Thank you so much. The flowers you're sending me are getting bigger. I have the room. You can get a tree next. Just feel free to do whatever you want. But thank you. But see, like that's the difference. And then some of the other people who didn't show up, because at least she still was very present. She called afterwards and she was like, "Oh my God, Kiki killed it," and da. So she had FOMO. But you know, the fact that she's that dialed in still and that she really wanted to be there. So Rihanna, I'm telling you and everybody right now, girl, you're on the list for next year. Don't have no babies. Don't be out of town. Put that hold on your list, on your schedule now, because we want to honor you. And it's about giving flowers to those that deserve them. And somebody as innovative as her and as iconic. I mean, there's so many different categories you could fall in. And I also want to shout out Tyler Perry for reaching out. Tyler Perry, Fantasia went back and told him about the show. And, you know, I think as people get exposed to it, they see that it is a real thing. Let's get into some of the highlights. But before I get into mine, what were some of your highlights, both of you, Rob?
I mean, the evolution for me that was the most beautiful was the red carpet, because we had gone from, and that was a happy accident too, because the venue was going.
A happy accident?
Yeah, for me it was a happy accident.
I had to call Paris Hilton.
But I'm happy that happened, because the venue's under construction in certain parts of it, so we couldn't use the normal space where we do the red carpet, and we moved it outside, which to me was just so much more opulent, so much more beautiful. It was like jaw-dropping when you walked out to the carpet. So that to me was like the biggest and most beautiful evolution.
And I loved how it was like golden, the draping, and then it was like golden hour, you know, when the sun was setting and it was hidden on the velour. It was very rich.
I won't lie. This is how God has to be in the work that we do. Because when they shout out to Tanya, can we just give Tanya a round of
Yes,
applause?
please.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Tanya.
Poor Tanya, God.
First of all, Tanya is snatched, and Tanya is real cute, and she's been working with us so long now that I know she knows the crazy, right? So when Rob says we're doing a walkthrough with Jason, I'm sure there's some meeting at the Beverly Hilton where they're like, oh my God. Because I literally hit that thing, and I have a critical eye. Excuse me?
I'm just thinking about that walkthrough. It was very much Double Wears Prada.
No, listen, Miranda Priestley is my icon, right?
God.
Like I am staying true to form here. When I land at that hotel, I'm in there knowing a couple things. One, I'm there representing the Zeus network because I'm spending their money. They're investing in a product. I'm there making sure that the experience that people have, and that's why every single year there's always somebody that says, I've never seen the room look like this. I've never been in a space. Because we pay attention to the detail. I'll say Marina, she abandoned her job at the show. I say your only job is to follow me around and get social content. I looked up, she's over here with Big Mensa, she's over here, and I'm like, look at her. She was taking care of the guests to make sure that they were having a great experience. And that was important to me because that is what it's all about, right? And listen, I will tell you, when they told me that due to construction, we were gonna have to take our carpet outside, I called Paris Hilton. I was gonna call Kathy Hilton. I was complaining, but I have to say, Tanya, you guys did a phenomenal job. You, the whole team. I mean, you let us take over the whole Beverly Hilton Hotel. I don't know that that's ever happened, but we did it. And that red carpet, when I hit it, it was amazing. Chrisean was there, and she was wearing booty shorts, and that was a concern because we didn't have the proper security protocols. And then, well, anyway, let's start with that. Here's a photo of Chrisean on the red carpet. Now, let's just do a video. Remember, here's a video of Chrisean on the red carpet in booty shorts trying to walk the carpet. Okay, I'm going to talk over this. Chrisean, you know damn well you were in the wrong for showing up like that. Well, it gets better. After I walked the carpet looking wildly sexy. In fact, here's a video of me coming off the podium talking to, there I am right there. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying. It's a classic, man. Shout out to Wayman and Micah. You know, Wayman and Micah, they dress Coleman Domingo and lots of other people. But I saw Coleman's style, and I said, yo, I want to look that good. Look at me. I want to sleep with me right now.
Me too.
It's the trait of it all.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
come on. I felt like a boss. I ain't gonna lie. Well, then I go inside, and they're like, Ray J's here. I'm like, oh great, Ray's here. I love Ray, but he's not dressed to dress code. Here's a photo of Ray J. As they came to me and said, you need to go get Ray J. You have to tell him he needs to leave. I went over there, and Ray J was there with a bunch of people wearing shorts and walkie-talkies because clearly he was probably filming for his Twitch account. And this fool was there, and here's a photo of me kicking Ray J out. Okay, now, it wasn't a hostile kick out. It was a friendly, like, whatever. And he was laughing because Ray J likes me so much, and I like Ray J so much. And I remember when I did Love and Hip Hop, he was the one who told me how to use reality TV and use these moments. He is a walking viral moment. So as I was asking him to leave, he kind of smirked and then said, are you kicking me out? He started to make a scene. I said, I don't know who's filming this, but you are getting kicked out. And he just left. But Ray, you're always welcome to anything I do, but you got to dress up. Come on. And then I went inside the gold room. The gold room. Do we have photos of the gold room? Okay. We'll just do some photos here. This is what the gold room looked like if you're looking on YouTube. It was the most beautiful thing. But in person, I walked in, again, not having a chance to sit with it, starting to be critical on lighting, the sound. There was no mic in the room. But wasn't it beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Opulent.
Yeah. I loved it. And I love how we repurposed it then after. For the app, like it was a before and after. Like the room transformed from before the awards to after.
Those were two different rooms.
Two separate rooms.
Now you know those were two different rooms. Marina, we had a whole
the gold
experience.
to the red?
We took over the whole play. The red was already created.
Johnny cut that out.
Marina,
Johnny cut
no,
that
Johnny,
out.
leave
No,
it
Johnny
there.
cut that out.
No, because that's what I love. I love the fact that people think that while we were doing an award show and dinner, they came back and it was gold to red. No, it was a whole different room. We had a budget this year.
Yeah, we did the after party in a bigger ballroom this year. So the
okay,
gold
so you saw where the gold room was?
last
If you
year.
would have walked to the left and walked
Oh, it was
past
behind. It was behind. Okay,
yeah,
it was next to
yeah.
each other. Oh, God.
Right.
Oh, okay, wow.
But it was beautiful. I mean, we had champagne there. And the thing about it is Big Boy walked in, and Big Boy had never been, Big Boy from 92.3, Big Boy's Neighborhood, he had never been there. He was like, this is really this is crazy. And so I was living for all the experiences. It was great having DJ Damage back in the building, DJing for us again, and he's family. And then we went into the ballroom, and the ballroom. Let me show you the ballroom really quick. This is the ballroom where we had our award show. I have to give props to Sean, aka Super Nerd. We have it down now to where we don't ever see what Sean is doing until we get in the room. Am I right?
Yeah. At least this year we had a little bit of like.
We had art. We gave direction.
Yeah.
We gave direction on what we wanted in terms of color, but we did not know all the graphics and this and that. Sean, you outdid yourself. And again, shout out to Lori from Wife of the Party, who I think she's just a sociopath that needs to work under. She needs to have chaos going on to be great, like me, and she creates the chaos.
Yeah, she does.
But she controls it, and she over-delivers. The after party. Look at the after party. Stunning red, monochromatic red flowers. People were asking me if the gold room flowers were real. I was like, yeah, they painted those flowers.
Everything's real.
Yeah.
The girls in the giant martini, like jacuzzi things.
Oh, the champagne glasses. Do we have that? Yeah. I was on stage waiting for Maya to perform, watching all the water spill on the floor. And I was like, who is going to clean
like
up the water?
somebody's about to slip.
Right,
Lord.
but they fixed that. Everything was special. But let me unpack the show. Because last week, we celebrated the 5th annual Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, as I said, over at the ballroom. And we had tons of talent walking the carpet and filling the ballroom of the Beverly Hilton. So it started with me, as I said earlier, walking into the event looking very dapper. I want to shout out Wayman and Mike again. For those of you watching, I have to play it back. Take a look at this video. This was Rob's idea of putting a video moment at the end of the carpet just for Hollywood Unlocked. So we had our own elevated place of doing interviews. And then I walked right into the gold room. And this was, when Lori sent us over the idea, it didn't look like this. So her delivery is great. And Tyron Red did a phenomenal job. And shout out to JP, who shot all my BTS that night. Well, Tiffany she hosted again. And she realized that she had been fired at the top of the show. Not really fired, but we've had Tiffany for 4 years, and now I want Tiffany to come on as executive producer and my date. And so she came out and hosted, but before things kicked off, we had a pass the mic moment. And I will tell you, this again was God creating a viral moment for us because, last year we had Jonathan Majors that went super viral. Well, this year it was what happened before the show that none of us planned, right?
Nope.
That the world saw. So look at this moment with Keke Palmer, Yolanda Adams, Stevie Mackey, and Candace, and a bunch of other people. Take a look.
My daughter told me to stop.
That was amazing. And then, if that wasn't enough, it was Keke Calandria Jones. I don't even know her full names. Palmer, who passed the mic. Take a look. Let's be clear, if you're ever going to have stars in the building, please make sure they're active on social media because Don Lemon also had his angle for that moment, and he posted that and many other clips on his social media, which helped it to go viral. Take a look. Well, we had Fantasia, Yolanda Adams, Andrew Day, and Johnny Gill all perform. Let me show you. When I tell you Babyface was our creator, what was he? Our
Music director.
He was our global ambassador of music direction. I don't know the title, but I have to give shout out to Babyface.
We had 2 other performances too.
Wait, but we also had Donald Lawrence, the gospel icon, get involved. And when he called me and asked me about Yolanda, I said, we need to have a choir. And he said, do you want 10, 15, 20, 30? I said, I want 30. And he brought the most amazing choir. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to see this on the Zeus Network, because I'm telling you right now, the music has never been this good. Shout out to Erskine, is it Erskine? Erskine. Mm-hmm. Erskine, our MD, who's Babyface's MD. You have replaced everybody. He was great.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. We had Andrew Day. Who else did we have perform?
Tiffany.
And Jessica Betts.
We did have Jessica Betts perform. You're going to have to see that. I'm not going to give away that moment. But we also had Tiffany perform in a performance that we pulled together 24 hours before the show. Yeah. But it looked great. We did that.
Yeah. It was insane.
We did that.
And we had a surprise set by Maya at the after party. Let me show you a photo collage of Maya. She looked amazing. Mm-hmm. And I asked Maya to do 5 songs, but she came and she did way more than 5 songs. She put on a good show, and thank you so much. Now, before all of that, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett presented to Don Lemon with the Social Impact Award. Let me show you a photo of them together here on stage. And Yolanda Adams honored Fantasia with the Inspiration Award. Fantasia looked so good and she smelled so good. Wait, can I tell you something? Yolanda Adams is 63 or 62 years old.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize.
I did not know that.
Yolanda, I love you so much. Your song In the Midst of It All, which is what she performed at the show, is something that I've been wanting to have her perform at something of mine. You went way above and beyond what I would have expected from you, even though I know you're like the god of gospel. But it was just, Yolanda Adams is everything. Did you enjoy?
I had my head down and my arms open like this. I was dancing, and Keisha was like, "Why are you dancing like a black girl? You're over there." And I'm like, "I don't know. The spirit just took me over."
No, and she literally took the room to church.
Yes.
And the crazy part about that too is we have been trying to get Yolanda to do the show
for what, 2 years?
For now? 2 years, yeah. And it was this again was the perfect moment for her to be there because it just worked out so beautifully.
And everybody was like attacking her. They were so excited, and like wanted to take photos, and she patiently took a photo with every single person afterwards. Like she is a queen.
She's gracious. Her daughter's fabulous. I was glad that she was able to be there. She looks just like her mom. But there was the moment before the award show when we were in rehearsals that Yolanda, in the midst of her rehearsing, right at the end, she spoke into me. She poured into me. It was a very emotional moment. They caught a couple tears on camera. For those of you watching, take a look.
You keep doing what you know to do that's right. And even when you mess up, stop being hard on yourself. You hear me? That was a momentary lapse. Ain't got nothing to do with your future. Because if God can use David, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and it means a lot when somebody sees you. They see your heart. They see your intention. She knows what we've been building. Like Rob said, we've been trying to get her here for a couple years. And so for her to be in that moment with us, to share her talent with my audience, to stand on the stage, I ain't gonna lie. This is a woman who's performed for presidents, who probably wasn't aware that I listen to her music every single day. Anyway, I love you, Yolanda, and thank you so much for your support. Megan Good.
A queen.
That body was bodying.
That dress.
Woo! The
cutouts.
Megan Good presented to Keke Palmer the Spirit Award. Take a look at them. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
She gonna get pregnant. Jonathan, I know Jonathan is anyway. Megan, I've known you for too long to even finish that sentence, but I know y'all. If OnlyFans was something, look at them. That just looks like, that's black love, black excellence. You guys are amazing. I love them. And I love the fact that they show up for us too. And Megan, I have to give Megan the credit for my relationship with Tyler Perry. She's actually the one who helped to make the connection. And I posted earlier today about gatekeeping, how in our culture sometimes people don't want to support people. She didn't just call Tyler and try to reach out. She nurtured the relationship, and she called me one day and said, Tyler wants your number. Can I give it to him? And now he and I are talking and building. So shout out to Megan for that. And DeBrat and Jessica Harris Dupart, our favorite couple from last year, who came in and were awarded last year, showed up and presented to Niecy Nash Betts the Fearlessness Award, and she was serenaded by her wife Jessica Betts. Take a look here they all are on stage. Such an amazing moment. Niecy looked great.
Snatched.
Lena Waithe was there. She presented to Vic Mensa the Community Award. Take a look. And thank you, Lena, for showing up, and Vic for stealing our award. I saw Vic posted on his social media the next day this video of him packing his clothes, and little did we know he stole our award. Take a look.
I was given this award tonight, Hollywood Unlocked Impact Award for community. I was at the award show. It was just like so many dope people being honored. Keke Palmer, Don Lemon, Megan Good, Tiffany Haddish was the host. Like real stars. Lena Waithe gave me this long, eloquent introduction. And bruh, I was just having so much imposter syndrome. Not that I don't think I'm dope or believe that I'm deserving, but I guess I felt so overlooked for so long that to be entering a moment where more people are aware of what I do and showing me love is completely unsettling for me. Like, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And that false voice in my head tells me one day I'll accomplish something that will make me worthy of being honored on stages such as these. Cause I'm caught up on validation, right? See, the funny thing about validation is if you base your sense of self in the validation of others, well, then it's not even really yours. And the way I'm working on beating imposter syndrome is to realize that every thought that comes through my head is not me. If I can stop identifying with my thoughts and just be the observer, make the best decisions I can, be driven by my purpose, tell my truth. Stephen told me today you need to take a few minutes to be proud of yourself for putting out this music and receive the praise people are giving you. I can barely even make it through a conversation about receiving praise. I changed the subject, nigga. Shit, I'm working on it. And it all starts with what I tell myself. So I'm gonna end this off by telling myself, nigga, you deserve it. It ain't like you ain't worked for it. You deserve it.
Well, I texted him, I said, yo, you stole the award. He said, yep, I ran out of there with it. But he was so happy, but his speech, I cannot wait till you guys see his speech. That speech, what award did he got? Community. He should have got Fearlessness after that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, Big Boy presented to Warren G the Culture Award. Take a look. Warren was there with his wife and Big Boy. And, Warren recently was on The Breakfast Club where he talked about not getting his flowers. What do you think? Was that good to finally see him get his flowers?
Absolutely. And he was so grateful. I had an opportunity to speak to him out in the lobby and just like really talk to him. He was saying how grateful he was to be in the room. So, I mean, just being able to have that conversation with Warren G is crazy.
I didn't get to speak to him at all.
Really?
No. I didn't get, because it was
a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. I saw him walk in. He looked great. I loved the suit. I wanted to go over because I've been a fan for years. He did send me a message on Instagram, and so I do plan to maybe go to lunch or something because I do want to build a relationship. I mean, he's an icon that I've grew up with, and so I mean.
And I love that Big Boy was the one to present to him because like Big Boy really has been doing the work. He's like an icon. All his interviews, like he is like a West Coast like staple. And for him to give it to Warren, it was a good moment. It was perfect.
That was Jason's idea. It was.
Look, I have one job to do for the show, and that is talent, talent, and pay for things. But Rob does everything. Rob and Sean. And Winfred, we got to shout Winfred. They do all of the work that you see. I literally just booked the talent, and so it's a perfect marriage. And I stress out over the talent because, when Jason Lee's calling you to do something, you have to decide whether you want to or not. And sometimes it can get a little interesting. This year I learned a lot though, and I will, we'll do better next year planning. I mean, we're timing and all that.
Yeah.
We also had Phaedra Parks and Nene Leakes do a surprise reunion in honoring Lemuel Plummer from the CEO of Zeus Network. Take a look. Here they are. Again, I thought this moment came together well because Phaedra has known Lemmy for years, and then Nene was just on the Zeus Network with her own moment. They did something together. And Lemuel, it was a surprise because Rob and I talked about this. Lemuel has created a Black-owned network that is doing numbers and doing well. And he is putting people who have been traditionally on shows getting $1,000 episode and put them in positions to get EP credits, which we know in this industry is important, and creating their own ideas and giving them proper funding. And so we didn't want him to know he was getting honored because we didn't want it to look like he was paying us to honor him, because this was strictly our decision. We're going to redo the video package, though, because there was a lot of fighting in that video, and that's not what we were honoring. What we were honoring was the creativity of being able to create your own network and your own platform, and he's been able to successfully do that. And we're a partner not only in the award show but also in the Jason Lee show. Somebody needs to write his speeches for him, though.
Yes.
Well, he didn't have a speech written
shocked.
because it was a surprise.
Yeah.
So, but I think as his package was playing, I think he was probably trying to jot down notes.
Well, it was him shouting out all 20 people that he
yes,
came with.
I was gonna say
And shout out to the water boy in the back. You're great. I mean, Lemmy, you're hilarious. But he was so humbled and so grateful, and well-deserved, Lemmy. So thank you.
And I thought the Phaedra and the Nene thing was genius because they really paved the way for like Black reality TV for housewives. Because remember, she was talking about the OC being and I'm
you
like,
saying that was your idea?
It sure was.
It was not your idea.
Well, I said Nene, and then you said Phaedra.
It was both. It was a collab.
So it was a
guys.
collaboration.
The end result was Phaedra and Nene. So,
correct. You guys are Phaedra and Nene. It's giving me that.
But no, it was great. And I mean, you know how much I stressed.
Yes.
Rob would
every day.
Rob would say, "Why are you stressed?" And I would have meetings with Rob because I have to stress him out too. And he would know what I'm trying to do. He's gotten better at seeing the triggers now. He's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna let you trigger me." But I just, because there were so many people that we really, really wanted to include. We had gotten up to, I think, 11 or 12 awards.
Yeah.
And we nailed it. How many did it go down to? 8?
8.
Okay. Which is what it usually lands on.
Yeah. And your favorite
Please
thing to
keep
say
it at
every
8,
day was,
Lord.
if it falls apart, just realize this is on you. And I'm like, nothing's going to fall apart.
When the ticketing thing was a thing, Jason was like, yup, that's why I told Rob it was going to get messed up.
Sure did. And did.
No, it didn't. It was perfect.
Somebody told me the other day, "Oh my God, your check-in process was so great this year." I said, "No, the hell it wasn't."
Well, that was Kat too. Shout out Kat.
We're getting, shout out to Kat. Yeah, but we are getting better with, it's 4th year in this venue. We now are keeping that red carpet outside.
Yeah, it has to stay outside.
Stunning.
1,000%. I also want to say, this may be shocking, but we had no sponsors. All of you should feel stupid that you didn't participate. And we're calling you in to do it next year, because we should have major brand partners given the cachet of talent. Next year's talent lineup, me and Rob have already settled on who we're going to honor. Every category has been filled. When you see it, you're going to gag. And we know that we're going to have brands next year for sure. Okay, but anyway, thank you to everybody that attended. Thank you to all of you who participated. And this was a really important year, because this was a year where it now benefits financially my nonprofit to help with the kids in Stockton and LA that we're developing programs for. And we had a special video there that I'm going to put right here for you to take a look.
My mom told me that mentorship changes lives and can change the way my future looks.
Youth is important. We're the future of Stockton.
I feel like as youth, we should take power in our communities because we are the next generations to take over.
When you're building power and you're organizing to action, you have to identify the issue, educate people, and then activate them.
Grown-ups should know that we are trying to make a change and it's not going to happen quickly. We're just really trying our best and we just want more opportunities.
When people like Jason and Rihanna come, it makes it apparent to me that people do care about us and we're not just left to struggle alone.
We need to have events like this that empower us to learn how to make it from where you're sitting to where I'm standing. This is a commitment that I made when I ran for the city council. If you can look around, who made this happen when they said Stockton wouldn't come out?
Events like the National Night Out really showed what one person can do and make an impact and bring the community together.
Please welcome, in a Stockton way, Floyd Money Mayweather.
We will change the city of Stockton. I will stand by you 100%. Because of this program, I was able to attend the Hollywood Impact Awards.
I've gotten to meet so many other different kids, adults.
To the people that make these events happen, I say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hollywood Cares.
I'm really happy that I'm here.
I'm ready. Are you?
All right, so you can go back and scan that if you're watching it, and you can donate and help. All right, enough with the Impact Awards. Now let's talk about some more impacts. The fact that our Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett had to jet off to D.C. because Trump decided that he was going to blast Iran with dropping bombs on them, but he's blasted Israel and Iran. Before I even get into this, is it crazy that we just dropped bombs on a country without congressional approval?
Insanity. But you know what? Mama Kamala warned us. Just gonna say that. Just gonna put that out there.
She did. There's a video circulating. You can go find it of Kamala telling us within 6 months we'd be at war. In fact, a lot of the things Kamala said was going to happen has happened. But this past week, Donald Trump left Americans fearing that we'd be headed for World War III after he dropped bombs all over Iran. Now, didn't he claim that the Democrats would be the party sending us into war after they gained the seat? Well, in 2019, Kamala Harris, as Rob said, warned us that the world would see this and that this would happen ahead of his first term. Listen.
This president is thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran. The consequences will be absolutely unacceptable and tragic in terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers who would be sent and deployed into something that was completely avoidable. In a Harris administration, we wouldn't have gotten ourselves into this mess. I have good reason, based on everything we know publicly, to suspect and to be concerned that his motivation is more out of self-interest than it is the interest of the American people. You know, I'm traveling our country and meeting with the families who are sending their sons and daughters to these endless wars. And this president better take very seriously any threat that he makes to enter us into another war and send our young men and women into battle.
Now, amid the Israel-Iran conflict, Trump condemned the nations and told Iran to back down. And when they didn't listen, Trump had our troops conduct airstrikes on 3 of Iran's nuclear programs, including Natanz, Esfahan, and Fordow. These are places that I've never been, which is considered the crown jewel of Iran's nuclear program. Okay, now, again, typically when we go to war or when we do an attack against another foreign entity, there's congressional approval, like there's a process. I was watching on the news that they were so strategic in how they did this. They had some fighter jets fly this direction to throw people off while they flew stealth over here to bomb the country. When you hear something like that happening, does it make you wonder, like, could they send bombs over here? Because the thought of a bomb dropping in on U.S. soil is crazy, but we don't have the protection that the shield that Israel has, right? And it could happen.
I mean, it could. I feel like our intelligence is a little bit more advanced, I would hope, to catch on to that. But it's just insane that, you know, this whole situation is taking place because of a feud between Israel and Iran. Like, it doesn't make any sense as to why Trump has decided to insert himself in that issue. I don't know. It's crazy. It's insane.
Even like the bombs is scary enough. Then I'm thinking like, oh my God, I never had kids. I never have a husband. What if World War III comes? Then I'm just never gonna have nothing. Like, it's scary to think of like me existing in World War III. That's scary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm supposed to go to Europe this week. And I was like, I mean,
the
Fashion Week sounds fun, but just, you know, when you fly to different countries and you start flying over stuff and you look at that map and you go, I don't want to fly over that city, that country, that. You know, no judging. I'm just saying, like, where the world is right now is kind of scary. And also to be in Paris at a time where you never know where sleeper cells could be or where terrorist attacks can happen, and large events like these, knock on wood that nothing happens, but you really just don't know. We're in such an unpredictable time that it just doesn't make sense right now.
And I was saying it was going, I don't know if y'all saw on TikTok, it was going viral. All like the American like troops, the army, they were like, uh-oh, like this means that we're gonna go to war, because they were serving them all steak and lobster. And they're like, this is the sign, this is what they did for Iraq, this is what means that we're gonna go to war. So they're feeding all the soldiers like food, and I'm like, no.
Like the Last Supper.
Correct.
Now, the move left U.S. military officials briefing troops about possible Iranian counterstrikes and terrorist attacks in America and abroad. Iran then claimed it would continue running its nuclear program even after the savage attack ordered by Trump. Meanwhile, Israel congratulated and praised Trump for pulling off the pivot of history. However, New York Congresswoman AOC wasn't as happy and called for Trump's impeachment. Take a look. She said the president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. Do you think he will be impeached? No. Do you think he should be impeached?
Yes.
But people, why is Congress giving him the power to just move like a king that could have repercussions that could hurt millions of Americans?
Because I truly think that Republicans as a whole are afraid of Trump. So they're afraid of the Trump effect. They're afraid that if they speak up against Trump, if they vote against Trump, for example, if they vote to impeach him, and we have a Republican-led Congress and Senate, if they vote against him, he's going to then put money and power behind their opponents when it's time for their reelection. So they're all afraid. So they're just rallying behind him.
Yeah, but like, first of all, if you rally behind this nonsense, you're going to get unelected anyway, because the people are, I'm telling you, I foresee a blue wave happening in the country.
It's definitely happening.
Remember, I said this here. There's going to be a blue wave. You have congresswomen and her husband getting murdered. You have senators and their wives being shot, all because of the political energy that's been created and the tension in our country. Like, we're now moving like some of these other countries that we know we want to be nothing like. And the fact that in the midst of an award show, a congresswoman gets concerned, it has to fly out to D.C. immediately because we might be going to war. It just makes it a reality for us all. And I got a text from Jasmine Crockett that said, "Please pray." That's a concern. As somebody, and I'm a vice mayor of a city, but even within the context of understanding, my responsibility to my city, our responsibility to our state in California, and then the country. The fact that we could have a person just be so loose-lipped and reckless and lead us into a war. And it's not even just a war, right? Because we're looking at what's happening over there. It's about again, I don't want to start creating hate for Iranians because it's not that. But what people here may be a part of that situation that may feel like I need to retaliate for my people. Because we would feel that way as Americans. We did feel that way in 9/11 when our Twin Towers were bombed. So now that's why states like New York, cities like New York and LA are on high alert, because we are a melting pot for cultures. We are the representation and heart of what America is. Well, Iran announced that they were going to do a strike attacks against the U.S. and our forces and our air bases in Qatar. Because, we have situations all across the world. So that way, if we ever have to move around, I'm talking like y'all need to be talked to. If the op ever is opping, we got to be able to have people in position. And we got people in position all over the world. Well, they were launching an attack on our air bases in Qatar. Okay? Now, after this, with the help of the officials in Qatar, Trump announced that Israel and Iran agreed on a complete and total ceasefire, ending its 12-day war. But I'm not giving you any applause, and I'll tell you why. This is what Trump had to say. I'm not reading all that. But basically, he's saying, congratulations, it's been fully agreed that the war will be done and that there'll be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours. Y'all can go back and read all that later. But after agreeing to the ceasefire, Israel violated the terms after barely lasting 1 day. And this resulted in Trump claiming that both nations don't know what the fuck they're doing. The fact that we had a president say this on live television is crazy. Listen.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
So when you hear him say that, I mean, it's not like when I did the press conference in Stockton and I said, you're going to fuck around and find out if you're killing kids out here, right? It's a little different. Like, you're the leader of the free world and you're on national media saying what we just heard. What do you think?
It's a limitation of thought. Like that's how he could articulate his thought, because I don't think he truly knows what's happening. And like, to me, this drives me crazy because everyone is so silent. Republicans are so silent when he does crazy things like this, but they completely lost their mind. Remember when Barack Obama wore a tan suit? You would think it was the end of the world, but like this man can do literally whatever and they stay silent. They don't say a word, and it's infuriating.
And this commentary is less about whether you're Republican or Democrat, MAGA or not. You know, I think sometimes we get lost in all of the issues or the narratives because it's easy to distract people. This is like, what type of class and prestige do we want to be represented by? What considerations for equality, diversity, and other people, you know, do we want to consider? When we go to war, it's not about who has the bigger dick. It's dropping bombs on little kids and their families. And look, there are times where you got to go to war. When they bombed 9/11, when they hit us 9/11, I was like, erase the whole country. Like literally, the country that's responsible, erase the entire fucking country. And I'm not sorry for feeling that way, because as Americans, you know, people who have pride in our country and who understand, like for me as a black man, we built this motherfucker. Like, we're not gonna let you come over here and tear it up. I'm talking to you the way you need to talk to. And even though our country is not perfect, there is a lot of pride that we have here. So when somebody can come over and just disrespect us and like kill thousands of people because you want to send a message to America, well, we'll send a message to you too. And that's when America needs to flex and go bomb shit. But even in that situation with Bush, who, you know, I had this weird affection, like and dislike for Bush, because, you know, I like the fact that when we got bombed, he was like, fuck that. He turned into a cowboy and he was like, we're going to obliterate you. But he also went and obliterated Iraq and another country that had nothing to do with that. And I think we ended up hanging or killing their leader, right? Or they did. Anyway, America's gangster too, and we ain't perfect. But
like
this right here is scary. In Los Angeles, think about it alone. They're Blackhawks landing in the city of Los Angeles. And, you know, troops, I think over 4,000 military troops in the city to control the chaos, which is called protesting. It's a constitutional right that people have. Free speech in America. We're turning into something different. A lot of you ain't woke because you too busy, you know, hotboxing and playing TikToks and all the dumb shit and hands on your knees, hands on your hoochie coochies. Pay attention to what's happening. And the fact that y'all let Kamala Harris get off and not get in office for 4 years when we needed her. She needed to be in office. You know, whether you like her, don't like her, she's a woman, she's black, she's this, that. She's better, more qualified. And I have to go on record to say that. And look, the best man, he won. You know, not the best man, but, you know, he won. And Trump, you know, at some point, I'm sure I'll meet you for an interview or something. And I mean, I don't even know if appealing to you would make sense, because I don't know if you even listen to anybody at this point. And I don't even know if you have more than one personality, maybe one listens to them and the other decides what to do with it. But either way, you know, this is not the way. And right after you said that you were going to have the ceasefire, they were bombing again. So, like, isn't there like a long-standing feud between Iran and Israel?
Yeah, I mean, all of the countries over there take issue with Israel.
But did he think he was going to resolve a multi-decade conflict in 6 hours?
Yeah, just like he said he was going to end the Russia and Ukraine war on the first day. And he also said there was a ceasefire, and that ceasefire was broken by immediately. Like,
where's Elon?
He's been kicked out.
That's the real question.
Elon is somewhere on his rocket smoking a cigar, like,
or taking ketamine.
Allegedly.
Anyway, bye. All right, Wendy Williams is in the news, and her ex-husband's filing a $250 million lawsuit. Now, Wendy is slamming her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, after he filed a $250 million lawsuit in New York federal court. And in the suit, Kevin claims the beloved TV host is being held against her will in a court-imposed guardianship. He says Wendy's guardianship has become a weapon, not a shield. And Kevin is alleging that Wendy is locked away in a coterie, assisted living facility where her phone use is monitored and she barely gets to speak to loved ones, which we know that's true because she said that when I interviewed her. The lawsuit names Wendy's court-appointed guardian Sabrina Morrissey, Wells Fargo, who first raised alarms about her finances in 2022, her former financial advisor, Lori Schiller, her ex-manager, Bernie Young, and several others. Kevin's lawsuit further reads, Ms. Hunter is being abused, neglected, and defrauded under the care of court-appointed guardians. The guardianship serves no therapeutic purpose, no protective function. It is punishment, pure and simple, and reacting to her ex-husband's lawsuit, Wendy Williams told TMZ that she had nothing to do with the $250 million lawsuit that he filed and claimed was done on her behalf. According to court docs and Kevin's own statements, the lawsuit seeks to remove Wendy from guardianship, terminate her legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, and demand 9-figure damages. But according to Wendy, that was a straight-up play for the bag. And Wendy's told TMZ's Harvey Levin that she wasn't aware of the lawsuit at all until it made the headlines. And she added that Kevin's history of trying to use her for financial gain speaks for itself. And Wendy's lawyer, Joe, also reacted. So here's both Wendy and Joe and Harvey threatening legal action against Kevin. Listen.
Did you know your ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, was filing this lawsuit claiming to represent you?
I had no idea.
And
Nor do I want him to be a part of my life like that. No.
why?
Because I'm divorced forever.
And so this lawsuit that he's filing for $260 million?
Uh-huh. Well, you know, he's a money grubber. He's always been that way. Look, I don't want to say too much, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to know that he's doing such evil things again. He won't win.
Somebody else who's on the same page with her is her attorney, Joe Tacopina.
The guy who's trying to get her out of this guardianship.
Who you also talked to on TMZ.
Okay, well, let me be very, I want to analyze this in a very legal way. That's what I think. The guy has no standing, okay? This thing should be dismissed with sanctions, honestly. I don't know what this lawyer was thinking, but he has no standing to file this lawsuit. It's a self-serving lawsuit, clearly. And more importantly, Wendy Williams doesn't need her ex-husband, who was not a very good husband, to file a lawsuit on her behalf.
Let's talk about that. I mean, look, somebody has to take control of Wendy's situation because Wendy, let's keep it 100. Me, Harvey, Charlamagne, we keeping it live in the news, but you need somebody who can get behind you legally and make some stuff happen. We've seen people take advantage of you. We've seen your relationship with your son deteriorate in public eye, which we all didn't even want to report on. And the fact that you're still in prison when we know you appear to have your faculties is crazy to us. So the fact that your ex-husband, although it's probably not the knight in shining armor that you wanted, has come forward to protect and get you out. And it sounds like everything he's doing in terms of what he's fighting for is good. Take the help. I mean, if I was locked away in a prison and you told me that my ex Josh, whom I've written about in a book, go read it.
Throwback.
A whole Capricorn was gonna come rescue me, I would be there waiting by the window. That's just because the goal is get out. How you get out, should it matter?
Well, I think it should matter, but I think her family should be stepping up to try and get her out and take care of her.
They have been.
Right, but they've been unsuccessful. But I mean, if she's uncomfortable with him doing it because she doesn't trust him and she doesn't trust him with the money, then that's one thing. Like, I wouldn't just be like, sure, give it to him, because who knows what's going to happen. Then she might end up with zero.
Listen, you get me out for $250 million, you can get $125.
But I feel like this phone call proved, like, everyone's like, oh, Wendy lost her, marbles and she's not all the way there. But her being like, I'm divorced forever. Like, she still has it in her. And I feel like her hate for her ex is real. But, like, I'm with you because that's exactly what I was thinking. To hear, like, Harvey and her attorney team and Wendy, like, gang up on him. Like, why don't you guys put him on your team and then deal with him at the end?
Well, why doesn't Harvey get her out? He's an attorney.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a lawyer. Ain't that what it's
I'm a lawyer, yeah, at the end.
Because if they do it this way, then he's going to end up with access to all that money, and then who knows what's going to happen. So that's why I think
he's going to go get another woman pregnant and
Exactly.
live happily ever after on Wendy's
Okay,
money.
but just let him get her. If that's freedom, shit.
Well, her freedom shouldn't be
You
she
gotta
gets
pay.
out and then she broke living on the street and he's
Yeah,
running around with all her money.
$250 million, he ain't keeping it all. I mean,
And I'm
gonna
also
spend
like,
it.
she's been in this conservatorship for 3 years. So why all of a sudden it has to be something?
but everybody, because the momentum's there to free Wendy at this point.
Yeah.
You know, Wendy, I want you to come home. Why we pick this picture of Wendy? Well, I might be going to New York because I was going to go to Paris Fashion Week, but Donald and Iran just messed that up. I just literally text, I'm not going to work. So maybe I'll pop over to New York and go see Wendy. I don't know, because we've been trying to have lunch. Okay. Love you, Wendy. Kevin, keep up the good work. Speaking of a trip, let's take a trip down Divorce Lane. Porsha is talking about her divorce to Simon Guobadia. I used to call him Guobadia. I know Simon. I know who you are. Simon has sent me many text messages, by the way, giving me his side of the story. Anytime Porsha is in the news and we write on it, I get a message from Simon. By the way, Porsha, I don't like your makeup here. You're usually a lot prettier than that. Come on, get it together. But I love Porsha. Porsha's bad. All right, well, anyway. Porsha Williams is stepping into her next chapter after officially finalizing her divorce with Simon. Now, in May 2021, Porsha and Simon got engaged, married in November of 2022, just almost a little over a year later. They solidified their union, and they looked fabulous. And they had 2 lavish ceremonies. One was an American wedding, and one was a traditional Nigerian wedding. In case you forgot those moments, Porsha and him looked amazing. Take a look really quick. They look like money. Okay? Which is probably why Portia's getting $40,000 a month, but we'll get into that in a minute. However, less than 2 years later, they filed for divorce in February 2024 and finally finalized things as of this month, June 2025. Now, in her first statement since the split, Porsha is ready to move on and live her life, claiming that she might even be ready to dip in the all-girls pond. Listen.
Well, now that my divorce is finalized, yes, I'm finally able to exhale. I really am. It comes with mixed feelings. It's probably more of like, it's not like a smooth, like, it's like, because it's not smooth yet. It's kind of surreal. I mean, divorces are so long and drawn out and so ugly, but I'm just glad not to be in the fight anymore. I'm glad not to battle anymore. I really hope that I can just send love out and be done with like fighting and protecting myself and being in defense mode. I'm just ready to move on and live. I really am. I'm ready for what's next. I really, really am. And I forgive myself and I truly forgive him. And I'm done with the animosity. And I'm done with what could have been. And I'm also done fantasizing about what it could have been. Because when you have a marriage like mine that felt so perfect, you often, after the breakup, fantasize about how perfect it could have been and what you could have done different. And I'm okay now with how everything has happened. And I'm good. It's lonely. I can't connect with other men. It's like people trying to introduce me, but it's just when it's not the same, it's not the same. So I'm going to do it different this time. I'm going to be alone until I'm whole. And then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again. When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get...
I mean, Porsha that wants to be with women?
I did not see that come.
I think we should ask our in-house.
But I mean, maybe Candy can go back to the show, and her and Candy and her husband.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right?
A lot of the housewives are dabbling in the girls.
I mean, the storylines are getting dry. They either went African, no husband, or now with the girls.
Yeah.
They need that.
There's a pattern here.
Yeah. But do we want to see Porsha with a woman, or do we just want to see her happy?
I want to see her happy. If she's happy with a woman, let her be happy with a woman.
Period.
Porsha doesn't give it. Porsha, this gives storyline. This doesn't give. This doesn't give that. No. You getting with a
she might walk out with a
first
stud.
husband. There were rumors.
Allegedly.
Right? I'm sorry. The vice mayor and me won't allow us to go down memory lane. Go do your Googling. The first husband, there were rumors. I'll leave it at that. And so maybe there's a pattern forming where she's dibble-dabbling. We know Candy's not on the show anymore, but she can bring her bedroom Candy right back over to Porsha's house, and her and Todd can tuck it in. and get it on. I would be there for that. You'd be the ultimate storyline. Then we could stop. Oh, I was gonna stop talking about Jennifer Williams and her man, but I switch shows.
Switch shows.
Well, because it's the relationships in Atlanta that are keeping us all locked into social media. You got
Yes.
Jennifer Williams and her man who are over there burning up the internet with their relationship and all the scam allegations. And then now you have this one. They done deported this man and sent him back to his country. Now she's getting $40,000 a month, which is insane because Porsha, why do you need $40,000 a month? If I was like ultra successful like that and I was making that kind of money and I got ordered to give my ex-husband $40,000 a month, I'm sorry. He's going to get that money from me getting paid by first 48.
You know what?
I'm just playing. $40,000 a month is crazy.
That's crazy.
She's accustomed to living a certain kind of way.
She didn't even know
I need to
tuna
take
was.
notes.
She
I need to
thought
take
tuna
notes.
was chicken, or was that Jessica Simpson?
That was Jessica
Oh,
Simpson.
she thought the she thought the Underground Railroad was a real railroad. Remember?
Oh yeah, she did.
I don't know.
She sure did.
Porsha,
I'm
but
tapped
you don't
out.
remember the scene on the Housewives?
I'm tapped out of Housewives stuff.
And she
Our
also,
fellow Housewives stuff.
she also didn't she say 265 days a year?
Listen, stop. There will be no. Listen, there
I
will be
love
no,
Porsha.
there will be
I
no
love-
disrespect to Porsha. Porsha loves me, and I love Porsha.
I love
She sure
Porsha.
said 265.
And let me, listen, it's easy to forget 100 days. Okay, it depends. What was the weather like? It's sticky in Georgia. Shout out to Porsha. When I'm in Atlanta, her driver is my driver. Like she's giving me, like she looks out for me.
I
her.
love Porsha, and she's gorgeous too.
By the way, Nene, Phaedra, and Cynthia were all at the award show. Take a look at this photo right here. I was like the brown Andy Cohen for the night.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
All we needed was Kathy Hilton,
Yes.
Garcelle to show up.
We needed like a round tape, yup.
But it was,
blue
it
cards.
was definitely an Atlanta Housewives reunion for
Yes.
sure.
Facts.
And they were all in the corner just having a ball
Looking
on their
good.
own. Yes, looking good.
All right. Well, anyway, good luck, Simon and Porsha. Take some of that $40,000 and go to Mac. Just get a new beat. No, because Porsha. Have you ever seen her in person?
No, I think she's
First
so beautiful.
of all, Porsha's. I know she's gonna see this clip, but she laughs at me. She knows I love her. That body, crazy. Okay, bye. Speaking of crazy, Chrisean.
You know what?
We love Chrisean. Listen, y'all can hate on Chrisean all you want. I posted a photo on my Instagram. You guys are saying, "Oh, don't bring her on the show." She has a special place in my heart, and she has a special place in the Hollywood Unlocked and Jason Lee Show heart. That's why you're going to see her at every award show. She's going to be on the floor crying and praying to Yolanda Adams. She's going to be running around. She was jumping in the karaoke moment. She asked me at the award show if she can get on stage and perform Yahweh. I said, no way. We love you. We love you, Chrisean. And she did a video on TikTok where she said she put her tooth in for the award show.
Uh-huh.
The fact that we were able to get her to put her tooth in.
I love that.
Stop saying Hollywood Unlocked don't do anything positive. You know?
Yeah.
To encourage her, motivate her, inspire her to put her tooth back in is amazing. Well, Chrisean Rock is back in the news cycle after a hiatus, and she's tearfully talking about her transformation while apologizing to young girls who've been looking up to her. Now, after setting the internet on fire nearly every day for the past few years, Chrisean went on a sabbatical and has changed her life around and turned a new leaf. I don't believe that. I mean, look, Chrisean, I don't want to say I don't believe in you. I do believe in you. And in believing in you, that means we have to believe of the unpredictability because the weather changes and so do you. Blue is going to come home and you're going to be there crashing out. You're going to take your tooth out. You're going to get another tattoo. Anyway, she was talking to Buzz Access at the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, and Chrisean apologized to young women for not being the role model she hopes to become. And she was later joined by B. Simone, who comforted her. Take a look.
What does it mean for you to be here? It's the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards 5th annual. What does that mean for you to be here tonight?
I'm just here to support Jason Lee. I'm so proud of him. This is cool. He's doing his own thing from scratch. It's inspiring, honestly. And this is a great place to network, showcase. I'm shooting Yahweh in Jerusalem. I'm just waiting until Trump unbanned the flights.
Right.
So I just came out of retirement. I took a sabbatical for like 2 years. I was off the internet pretty much for everything and then wasn't dropping music and just was home with my son and taking time with being a mom and coming up with new ways of how to show up more positive. So I switched genres. I just want to follow more and be more about God. Yeah.
What message do you want to send to other young ladies that may look up to you and maybe watching your journey and looking for answers? and guidance because you're a leader now, ma'am.
Okay, well, I just want to apologize to the young ladies because I wasn't the proper role model at first. I was naive and moving really fast, and I didn't have much discipline. So,
oh, that's a moment. You're doing great. You are doing amazing.
So now I'm just trying to show resilience and maturity and the favor of God more and not the world. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I was given the wrong message at first.
But that's a part of your journey, and it's so it's.
Crying. This is annoying.
You guys have Kleenex for her?
Sorry.
Anybody have Kleenex? Just your transparency, Chrisean, your transparency is what speaks to people, and that's what people want to see. That's what people want to see.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just started caring. At first, I didn't care about my reputation. I didn't think it was that important to care. All I cared about was money, 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 money. And then, just reading the word of God more. She's like, what do you want to say? And I was saying I wanted to apologize because at first I wasn't leading right. I wasn't.
You're learning in real time, though, and you're called to be yourself on your platform, and you are still healing and impacting women even when you mess up.
Listen, I love the fact that B. Simone was there to pour into her. B. Simone was one of our honorees at the first. She was our host, and we surprised her with an award at our first annual Hollywood Impact Awards. Listen, Chrisean is evolving. She's going through her own internal process of reconciling with who she was and who she wants to be and who she is, and sometimes it may be interchangeable. We love Chrisean. I love Chrisean. So, and we've had her sister here on the show. We've had Blue on the show. We've had her and Blue. We've had Blue and the other moment. By the way, Jada and Alexis was at the award show. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see her?
I didn't see her.
I didn't see her, but I heard she was going, and I'm like,
So online, people are like, Jason Lee's messy for bringing them up. I didn't invite both of them. I didn't invite either one of them, but they both showed up, and they're both welcome to be there, and there was no...
Well, you invited Chrisean because she called that morning.
I did invite Chrisean.
Yeah,
I did. But I didn't invite Jay and Alexis. But either way, I like Jaden.
Yeah.
I love Jaden too.
Snip like a Barbie. That's my song or whatever. Well, in the same breath, Chrisean issued a message to people who keep using her name for clout as she tries to do better in life. This is what she said. People chiming in on me like I know them. When I respond, it's a problem. Y'all collectively can sit down. When I defend myself, it's because y'all say anything first. Y'all say something first. I'm never starting beef or giving my opinion on anyone unless they talking about me or passing judgment straight up. I mind my business, always been that person to only be beefing with my baby dad respectfully. I'm really a nice person and the internet trying to put a spin on it. So when I see a person with a platform trolling me for clips, I'm going to nip that in the bud. I'm not finna be letting up. Y'all forgetting I used to run a circus with my baby dad. So when I see certain stuff, I know what's actually happening and I'm authentically gonna show up as myself. Try that with someone else. Stop using my name. Chrisean is a household name. I don't care who you are, what clout you got. I don't fuck with nobody till they mess with me. I thought that was fair.
Yeah.
And she also clapped back at critics claiming that she's chasing clout using Blueface. Look.
People keep saying, humble yourself. I've been humbled. Already been humbled. No. Leave me alone. Please, respectfully. Thank you. Carry on. Talking about you be at Blue House. That is my house. What do you mean? I don't be at that house and I pay the bills. What do you mean? Are you okay? The reason why Blue is where he's at now. He was a flop. I need you to stop playing with me. Yeah, he was who he was. Yes, yes, yes. But everybody had the same opportunity I had when they came around and they ain't did nothing. I put him back on the map. What did anybody else do? Nothing. What? I'm the type to put all my money, all what I made in his account and not care about whatever I got going on because I'm trusting that he's will be a real one. No, get out my face. Get out my face.
And listen, stop messing with Chrisean. I asked if I should bring her on the show. People said no, but I want her on the show.
She should for sure be on the show. Like you said, she's evolving. She's young. I feel like people just try to act like she's this grown person. I love how she's open to her mistakes and taking accountability. The old Chrisean, when you said she couldn't go in the show because of her outfit, the old Chrisean I feel like would have just tore up the red carpet. Yeah.
She went and changed.
Yeah.
Kat, yeah.
And that's why I think she definitely deserves to come. Yeah, Kat gave her the dress. I think she definitely deserves to come back on the show because she is showing the world that she wants to evolve, she wants to change, she wants to grow, and like people should be allowed to grow without people wanting them to stay in a position they're in. So shout out to her, and like she's right. I think she's right in what she said. Like a lot of people have been around Blueface, but she's continued to build a name for herself outside of him. Like so, good for her.
Sure has. All right, listen, Chrisean, we love you. Bye. All right, listen, that was the show. We had to catch you up on all things. We just talked about the award show. Well, we talked about the other things too, but I feel like everybody we talked about was in the award show. Yeah. Except for Donald Trump. You were there, but you were there as Jasmine Crockett was fleeing back to D.C. to help save our country from you and Iran. Let's keep the thoughts and prayers. 153 days. That's how long it took for Agent Orange to drop bombs on Iran and nearly place us in the crosshairs of a potential World War III. Since still in the White House, well,
allegedly.
153 days is all it took for Trump to nearly place us at war with Iran. And while Trump claims that he was able to get a ceasefire on the table with Israel and Iran, things don't appear to be lasting, much like Porsha's marriage. The estranged couple, Porsha and Simon, are now finally divorced, and Porsha is so torn up about her second failed marriage that she's even considering bumping purses from now on. Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Allegedly.
Whichever way Porsha decides to swing, we hope you hit it out the park, girl. And speaking of baseball euphemisms, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, came out of left field with his $250 million lawsuit now. He now says he cares enough about her to save her from her guardianship. Sorry, Kevin, sounds like the money dried up.
Allegedly.
Just seemed appropriate to put that voice right there. Kevin, where you been? Unlike Chrisean, Kevin's really the one using the ex's fame for clout. Chrisean told fans that she's the clout, not Blueface. And in the same breath, she claims she's no longer using her platform for negativity. And we love her for that. Let's see how long it stays, because Blueface is almost home. And speaking of home, that's where I'm getting ready to go. But before I close out, this is just a reminder to dream big dreams. Dream out loud and never stop dreaming. Hollywood Unlocked hosted its 5th annual Impact Awards last week, and each year we keep getting bigger and better and bolder, and you'll be able to see it right on the Zeus Network, so be on the lookout for that. Special thanks to Rob, all the team, Sean, Winfred, Marina, Johnny, everybody who had anything, Lee who helped with the music, the band, Babyface, all of just everybody that was involved, the performers, the HU team, and everyone else who had a hand in pulling together another amazing year. Now stay tuned for this, because like I said, it's coming up on Zeus. Now it's time for us to go work on next year's show, so I got to get out of here. Peace.
The Jason Lee Podcast.